Welcome, my name is Darren Marks and I'm with Eastern Oregon University. Thanks for your interest in learning more about Eastern Oregon University and our Fire Service Administration program. You can see on the screen my contact information as well as my colleagues Fred Ellis, who will later introduce our presenter, Dr. Walker. We want to provide you a little bit of a background on Eastern Oregon University to give you the opportunity to become familiar with who we are as a public university located in the state of Oregon. This slide shows a view of the campus in rural Eastern Oregon. The campus is in La Grande, Oregon, and is in the beautiful Grand Ronde Valley. At EOU Online, we offer 25 majors and 19 minors, ranging from the program we are sharing today to business administration, computer science, psychology, and all of our programs are 100% online. We opened our doors in 1929, originally as a teacher training school located in rural Eastern Oregon. Since then, EOU has expanded our programs and become the most affordable public university in the state of Oregon, and we are regularly recognized as a military-friendly gold standard university for our service to supporting military members and the U.S. veterans. Believe it or not, Eastern Oregon University was one of the first schools in the nation to develop distance education. We became a trendsetter in adult and distance education starting in 1986. The early years involved mailing videotape lessons to students across the country and has continued to evolve in offering students quality online education across the world. Our goal is to empower our students, no matter where they live, to achieve the value of an education and advance in their careers, and this goal is reflected in EOU's mission statement. What's great about being one of the first schools to have distance education is that we have had a long time to practice and become really good at what we do. In fact, online students receive all the same benefits as our on-campus students, plus the flexibility to learn on your own time right from the comfort of your own home. I would like to introduce Fred Ellis, who will share highlights of our Fire Service Administration program and introduce today's presenter, Dr. Walker. Fred?
Thank you, Darren, for sharing that brief overview and history about our university here at Eastern Oregon. Hello, everyone. My name is Fred Ellis, Education Liaison for the Online Division. I want to say thank you again for joining today's webinar. Now, during today's presentation, we will feature Dr. Kevin Walker, who is the FSA and EMSA Program Chair and Associate Professor. Just to give a little history of Dr. Walker, he was raised on a farm in southeast Kansas and licensed as a Missouri paramedic. Following law school, he worked as a public defender in Idaho before opening a law office in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Now, Kevin began teaching Fire Service Administration for EOU back in January of 2005, and he became a tenure-track faculty member and the FSA Program Coordinator in the fall of 2010. Now, during this presentation, Dr. Walker will provide some neat information to help you learn more about both degree programs, and he will also address some commonly frequently asked questions by industry professionals as yourself. Now, before I pass it on to Dr. Walker, I want to mention a few reasons why EOU is so unique. All right, so we're ranked number 2 for best online college in Oregon by Value Colleges. We're one of the most friendliest transfer-friendly schools in the country. We will accept 135 transfer credits from other higher institutions. We are military friendly, and we're known for Best for Vets, where we were ranked number 2 locally and number 54 nationally. We do have competitive programs, which we do use under the FESI model curriculum. EOU tuition is one of the lowest in the state, and you will receive credit for your experience, which we will offer through the accelerated credit option programs. And that is APEL and ASL, which is the assessment of experiential prior learning and the agency-sponsored learning programs. Now, both of these programs will give you up to 45 credits for life experiences you have, whether you gain them through professional training, work experience, anything outside of higher education. Now, students will have the opportunity when they attend these courses to pay a $50 per credit hour tuition cost, and that is really a huge deal. And the last thing I want to mention is that all online students will study on their own time here at EOU, which means your classes are asynchronous and they're 100% online. So thanks again for joining. Now to the presentation. Go ahead and take it away, Dr. Walker.
Hello, my name is Dr. Kevin Walker, and I'm Program Chair of the Emergency Medical Services Administration, the Fire Services Administration programs at Eastern Oregon University. I've been asked to speak to you a bit on my background and give you some idea of the benefits and some of the particulars of our program. I was a National Registry paramedic going back to 1992, a couple days after Christmas, actually, sort of a weird time to test. I have academic degrees in biology, chemistry, business, and law. I was a practicing attorney for a while, and I've been working with EOU since January of 2005, teaching FSA classes. I'm kind of a unique background, so I've taught everything from the hazmat class to the legal classes, the management administration classes, because they're all in my wheelhouse. Now, these programs, Eastern Oregon University's Fire Service Administration program goes all the way back online to the late 80s. I believe our first class that graduated 1 or 2 students was in 1989, so we've been around a while. At that time, there were actually two schools in the state that were sharing the stuff. Western Oregon University has dropped out of offering FSA classes, so we're now the only state here, that we're on the school in the Northwest that offers fire programs now. The EMSA program is a little newer. I just put this into play here just a few years ago, and that probably has been growing, and we've got a number of people in there that not just like we've had a lot of fire students that have come back and got a second bachelor's or double majored because they work on the EMS side of the house. I've had a communications director for a major ambulance service that doesn't work the field, but he's an administrator, and these programs are management administration programs. I've had a nurse that runs the ambulance service out of a, we'll just call it a big hospital. And again, this is the kind of stuff that's not in their normal, their academic field preparation. So I've had a number of people across a broad array of backgrounds enroll in these programs. Now, neither degree requires work experience. Now, as you can imagine, if you're going to be doing the management administration stuff, it's easier to understand some of this stuff. It's easier to internalize it if you know something about this. However, it isn't required. I have a number of students, particularly on campus, that do enroll in it every year, and we do those folks. We do try to route them into some of the hands-on stuff, but it is not required. Now, we do accept transfer credits. EOU will accept up to 135 transfer credits. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to be able to accept all of those, because it depends on where you're going to apply your credits. But if we can shoehorn them somewhere where we can use them, it'll take up to 135 credits. We're on the quarter system, so that's roughly the equivalent of 90 hours in a semester system. So we normally be right around 120 credits for semester degrees. So just say roughly consider up through your junior year. Now, neither program follows a cohort model. You're able to enter either program at any point during the year: summer, fall, winter, or spring. These are 10-week terms with the finals week, and usually about a week after between terms. Although it's a little longer over Christmas break, and that can move like a week or so, just depending on the weirdness of when the federal holidays fall. Now, the curriculum you expect to cover, if these are both follow the FESI model for fire and EMS bachelor's degrees. So if you were to go to the National Fire Academy website, pull up the FESI stuff, that's the Fire and Emergency Services Higher Education model coursework. look at the bachelor's model, and then some of those, both the what's called core and non-core, and you'll see the descriptions of these courses. And primarily what you want to look at is the course description and the course outcomes. Those outcomes are the kind of things that we're going to be covering in that class. Now, EOU is regionally accredited by NWCCU. We're also recognized by the National Fire Academy as a FESI compliant institution, and you can find us all over the NFA website, offering as one of the handful of programs that offers a degree program entirely online. Like a student can come to campus, and we say my on-campus ones do, but all the fire and EMS classes, those are strictly online, but they can take a lot of the other stuff on campus. Now, who benefits from this type of degree? Anybody that is either in or intends on being in any type of management and administrative position. When you think about a fire department or an EMS model, it's a lot of money. All right, your equipment's expensive, your personnel, what you're protecting. If you look at it, even a fairly small department, if you compare this to kind of like the standard how you measure a business, even a small department would be the equivalent of a medium-sized business. And the larger departments, you're talking about a major business, and nobody really prepares you for what happens when you're sitting in that kind of a chair, and outside folks are they're really expecting to have some sort of management administrative experience, and that can come back to kind of bite you if you're not aware of this stuff. Essentially, think of the FSA and EMSA programs like this. There are direct correlations between these type of programs and a business program. In fact, at EOU, some of the courses are interchangeable with certain business courses. I mean, this is basically an applied business program, and a lot of people, this is the same kind of stuff. If you leave the fire service and wander off into the civilian world, basically you're with a few exceptions, some things that would not be like operations management, which most of you kind of would probably try to avoid. This is basically a business program. Just the business is fire and EMS. Now, what to expect during time in class? Since we don't offer the classes on campus, this is really designed around for working fire and EMS personnel, the two programs, and it's easy to double major between the two. The Canvas shells are set up where we walk you through everything week by week, all right, and typically have assignments every week to kind of keep you on track, but pretty much everybody that teaches the program, and this has been a big part of what I've pushed from the very beginning, is when you do this for a living, you don't know for sure when you're going to be available. I've had people in the middle of an exam get toned out. I don't worry about it. We make a lot of allowances for that. All of our faculty are either current senior officers or they're retired officers, or in the case of a couple are lawyers that, in one case, is a lawyer and a firefighter. So we work around that kind of stuff. It's just you don't think much. It's something you get called. Say you're assigned to spend 2 weeks on a wildfire. All you do is just notify the university and your instructors, and nothing's late. Just pick it up when you can. We really work hard to work with you. So and I set my classes up so that here's week 1, week 2, week 3. So it's a little easier to keep track of where you're at, and that way if you get a bad week, I mean, it's just part of the job. you know how much you need to pick up, well, pick it up when you can. And all the faculty, I get rid of the ones that won't do this. All the faculty will work with you to get you back on track and on board. Something happens, you're going to run over the end of the term and it wasn't your fault. Fine, we'll just give you the incomplete and we'll help you get caught up. You can work at your own pace. We do not have a minimum number of credits that you're required to take during the program. Full time in a quarter system, the state refers to it as at least 12 credits. To graduate in 4 years and 3 terms a year, so like say skipping summer, for example, that's 15 credits. I've had people that have taken 18, go year round and do it in 2.5 years from scratch. I've had at least 2 that have done 2 years and 18 months, and 1 that did it in 12. So there's no minimum, and we just ask that when you start, if you haven't been trying to go to college while you're working full time, don't take a full load your first term. Don't get overloaded. You have no home life, your work life, you're stressed. Just take a class or 2, and as you get comfortable with it, then you can ramp up. And if you go year round, easy enough to cut a full year if you started from scratch. Are there specific concentrations, specializations, or tracks? At the moment, there are not. However, we are currently working on adding a wildland track for those that do wildland fire, and there are some specializations that FESI offers. They're combinations of courses, and then when we turn those in, then you can ask for that specialization. So there are some FESI specializations, but that's not from EOU. We also offer a minor in FSA, and we'll be offering a minor in EMSA for those that wish to, say, get a business degree, but minor in. Now, clinical field hours, not required. We do offer a summer practicum where you can take anywhere from 1 to 15 hours if that fits into your degree program and it makes sense. Basically, you do a project, related to whatever I've had people that have rebuilt their SOPs, SOGs, employee manuals on at least one occasion, not rebuilt, but created them because that department didn't have them. People are setting up all sorts of things, creating, redoing their recruit classes. So there's anything you can do that's a practicum in fire, EMS, or emergency management counts, and that's a summer thing you can do. Now, accreditation, again, so that we're regionally accredited under NWCCU, and that we are recognized by the NFA as a FESI compliant institution, which just simply means that we follow, when you see a FESI course, these course outcomes, the ones that have been determined as required for this course, and we are going to adhere to that. Let's see, certifications. Right now, there are no particular certifications. However, we are looking at creating maybe a series of certificates that, for example, in my history as a paramedic and running, I was in charge of the paramedic service, feeding 2 hospitals. So, if you guys have done that before, you know what kind of a nightmare that is. We're looking at maybe creating some certificates that you can show. Says, all right, I have some specialty knowledge and education training in this, so I'm I'm certified as being able to do this. Difference between a BA, a BS, and a BAS. You'll see this pop up occasionally. A BA is a Bachelor of Arts. Essentially, the way that at least in the United States, and I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole here because this can get really crazy. But a Bachelor of Arts typically means you've had a couple of years of foreign language training. So say if you've had a year of Spanish and you like to get a BA, take the 200 level Spanish courses and pick up a BA. just means that you've got some additional stuff. But at our institution, our state, it's basically meaning you're doing the foreign language. A Bachelor of Science in Oregon, a Bachelor of Science does not require any foreign language other than say a high school level foreign language stuff. But you do have to collect 12 hours in science related stuff, and there's 12 quarter credits, 12 quarter hours. So that'd be like so I think that'd roughly be nine semester credits. But that there's a lot of things in there. Any science class, math classes, all that stuff, they all fall under that. Psychology, sociology. There's actually quite a number of things that check that off, and it's not very hard. Now, the BAS degree, a BAS, a Bachelor of Applied Science. Now, the typical Bachelor of Applied Science, you can see this sometimes in the state as a Bachelor of Technical Studies, a Bachelor of Professional Studies, and sometimes a Bachelor of Applied Science. It sort of depends on what the state legislature has authorized that to be. At EOU, it's the same as a Bachelor of Science degree, except 15 fewer gen ed credits. So if, for example, if you have a Bachelor of Applied Science degree and you've got a bunch of, we say elective credits piled up, you could just file this as a BAS, a Bachelor of Applied Science, and that's 15 gen ed credits you wouldn't have to take. If you were to transfer this somewhere, for example, you wanted to enroll a master's program, what's that Bachelor of Applied Science? It's not what the thing's called, it's what it is. So you would say, well, take a look at it. This would be a bachelor, literally at any university in the United States, this would be a Bachelor of Science. But at EOU, where we have 60 gen ed credits, you only require 45 for the applied science. Now, as far as the textbooks are not currently included in total tuition. However, I'm sitting on a textbook task force, and this is something we're discussing. I will tell you that we're working hard to find. I assign all textbooks. I'm looking for the least expensive but still effective textbooks I can find for you. And by state law, we are looking for cheaper options. So I hope that I was able to answer a lot of questions that you have, and we'll be happy to answer any of the questions. Again, I'm Kevin Walker at Eastern Oregon University, and I seriously hope you'll consider coming to our program.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Walker, for covering a lot of information in a short amount of time. I am sure what you provided was well received, and I am sure the audience was able to take plenty of notes and hopefully learn that EOU has plenty of benefits to offer to our students. Now, so before we close out this presentation, I'd like to show briefly what are the 4 steps to our admission process and what that looks like. Now, when you decide to become a student at EOU, we have a team of enrollment counselors and advisors that will walk you through the process every step of the way. Now, if you are interested in meeting with us as a department, please reach out to Darren or myself, and we can make that happen as well. So good luck. And before I conclude, I'd like to say thank you for your support and thank you for the work that you are doing in our communities day in and day out. And we look forward to working with you and your department here in the future. Take care. Thank you.